Hello again. Here's a differential equation we have to solve, and then we've given a point x equals 1, y equals 1, and we get the solution that. Okay, here we go. I don't want to run down there. Let's go up a little bit. Oops. Right. Let's just write down what we've got to deal with, and that is we've got x squared plus y squared dx equals xy. Now we're told it's of the first order and homogeneous. So if it's homogeneous, we usually bring in another variable. Okay, let's just have a look here. If we do dy by dx equals, I'll just divide both sides by that. And it's not going to be very neat. Okay, here's the variable substitution I'm going to use. So I need to have y over x. That's the substitution you use when something is homogeneous. And I introduce another variable, t let. In which case y is tx. And then we can differentiate this, and we get that dy by dx is equal to derivative of x is 1, so you just get t plus x dt by dx. So that's differentiating that lot for our new variable. And now we'll come back to what we've got and see what happens here. So the dy by dx is all of this dot, so that's all of dy by dx, so that's the left hand side here. So therefore we've got that now xy. Often when these things are homogeneous, we can do some dividing out here and get everything look like y over x or x over y. But in this case, that's not going to work, because if you can get y over x over y, then you get some t's or 1 over t's, and it all works out. But this one isn't like that. So I'm just going to put in what I've got here. So I'm going to get rid of my y's, and every time I see y, I'm going to write tx and then see what it looks like. So instead of y, I've got x times tx. And on the bottom, I've got x squared plus t squared, x squared. And then just so I've got t plus x. T. Again, let's see what I've got. Now I've got x squared t bounded by x squared plus x squared t squared. Oh well, there we go. We can make it all a whole heap simpler now. Here we go. Let's just get down to there. And t plus x dt by dx equals. Right, we'll divide top and bottom of the right hand side by x squared, and of course that will leave me t on the top, it'll leave me 1 there, and it'll leave me t squared there. And now it's beginning to look like something that I can do something with. I'll bring this t over to the right hand side, so now I've got x dt by dx equals t over 1 plus t squared minus t. And now I'm going to put it all over 1 plus t squared, so I get t equals all over 1 plus t squared. Got the t from that part. This lot here I have to multiply by 1 plus t squared over 1 plus t squared, and I get minus t into 1 plus t squared. T minus t minus t, excuse me, t cubed over 1 plus t squared. So they'll go, and I'll be left with that. Okay, I've got x dt by dx equals negative t cubed over 1 plus t squared. Right, finally, having done all that, I can now separate out my variables. I can get my t's to the left-hand side, all my x's to the right-hand side, and I'll do some integrating at the end of all this. So let's get ourselves looking like what it is. If I take that, the right-hand side will become, I'll leave the negative on the right-hand side. The dx will come to the top and the x will come to the bottom. And on the left-hand side, I'm going to get 1 plus t squared on the top and t cubed on the bottom. And now I'm going to integrate both sides. The right hand side is easy. That's going to be negative. The left hand side, I'm going to have to do that in two parts. So this is going to be the same as the integral of 1 over t cubed, which is easy enough to do, plus t squared over t cubed. Now that's t to the negative 3, so the integral of that is t to the negative 2 over negative 2, plus, now that's just 1 over t, and the integral of 1 over t is log t. I've already got one constant, I don't need lots of constants. So. And we're just, not quite there yet, there's quite a lot of work in here, isn't there? Okay, this is going to give me negative 1 over 2t squared plus ln. Finally, I'm going to put in, if you remember right at the beginning, I introduced my new variable t. Where was it? Right at the top here. T is y over x. That's the substitution you make when you do these homogeneous ones. So we've got y over x now. So I've got negative 1 over some therefores along the way. Excuse me, just explaining what I'm doing. Therefore, negative 1 over 2 y squared over x squared plus ln y over x. I'll bring this negative ln over to the other side, so it's going to be plus ln, and that's what my constant is going to equal. Okay. Left-hand term, that's going to be x squared will come to the top, so it's negative x squared over 2y squared plus ln y over x times x, because when you add logs you can multiply the numbers. That'll divide out. And that's looking about as simple as we can make it. Right, now to find the constant, we put in the number that we were given. I think it was 1 and, gone past it, there we go. When x equals 1, y equals 1. So we put in x is 1 and y is 1. We're running out of space. So I'm going to get negative 1 over 2 plus ln 1, that's going to be 0. And that means that c equals negative a half. So we have that negative x squared over 2y squared equals plus ln mod y equals negative a half. Now we are required to make it look like this here. Okay, so the x squared over y squared, so they've multiplied by some y squareds and the 2's have been multiplying. Okay, I get it all. Right, that's just looking to what the answer is, doesn't know what we have to do with the algebra here. So let's, okay. First thing I'm going to do is multiply by 2, because I've got 2 on the bottom here, and there I'm going to get that there. So multiplying by 2, I have Just wondering how much to do at one go. I'll put it equal to okay, let's just do the 2 to start with. Negative x squared over y squared plus 2 ln mod y equals negative 1. Now I'm going to multiply both sides by y squared. No. I'm going to add 1 to both sides. And I'm going to add x squared over y squared to both sides. So that'll give me 2 ln mod y plus 1 on the left hand side. I did 1 both sides. And adding that to both sides will go away from there. I'm going to get x squared over y squared there. And finally, I'm now going to multiply both sides by y squared. Oops, I am running out of room on my little board to write on here. So I'm going to get y squared, so therefore 2 ln mod y plus 1. And I think that's what I was required to get. Are we? We were right the way up here. Got it. I've got mod y, but that's okay. There we go. Finally got it as required. There was quite a lot of bits and pieces going along with that one, but it's all just algebra and playing around at the end here just to make it look right. The basic idea of all homogeneous differential equations is that you make the substitution y over x into some other variable, and then it should, after a while, all work out. Okay, I will stop just there.